Hello, this is my evaluation. So, on my evaluation, I decided to do the type of research I decided to do was the analyzing a short documentary just about anything because I have tons of knowledge about coping mechanisms and what they are and how to use them. But I didn't have that much knowledge on how to make a documentary, so I decided to research a lot of that. And yeah, the resources I used and the techniques I applied was so I didn't have a lot of something that I could work on is needing getting more footage because I didn't have that much footage to go along with my voiceover. So something I used a lot of footage, but then modified it a tiny bit so it looked different. Like I used a shot and then I blurred out the shot and put some text above it, but it was the same shot. And I don't think you could really tell that it was just the exact same shot. So I think that was good. There is also I recorded a lot of it for my production. I recorded a lot of the production, but I don't think I recorded enough to where I could have based a whole project off the footage I got. A lot of it I couldn't use for one reason or another, because one it was blurry, and I just didn't think it was a good quality, so I decided not to use it. And honestly, the techniques I think I used, I did really well. Like I made it so the text it was quite clear and concise, and the techniques it made it so you weren't distracted. You can harness the video. You feel like you're there in the video, but then it's to a point where it's not me lecturing. It's just me saying about my coping mechanism and stuff like that. So, I would say the research that I did, it was based a lot of it was based off the research I did. So, with the start, I said hello, this is my FMP and stuff, because a lot of them like give the credit, a lot of them have an introduction bit. They just didn't go straight onto it. And honestly, I don't think it turned out really well. The research I did on the short documentary analysis, it really did help, and it was so amazing that I did that. That's something that I don't regret. With the practical problems, like I said before, it was a case of that I didn't have enough footage, and so I just reused some footage but edited it a bit so it didn't look like the same footage, and I would say it turned out rather well. And I think a lot with the impact of the progress of the project, I procrastinated a lot. Like I think all of the project, each bit I left until its due date, which honestly I regret heavily because it put a lot of stress on me, and I just have to do it. Like I think I should take my time and make sure all the stuff's there, because instead of rushing this, I could have planned it all out. So one of my justifications, like I said, I didn't have a lot of footage, so a lot of it I did get stock footage of off the internet, because I didn't want it just to be some random footage that I got that I just quickly made. So I decided to get footage of things that were relevant to the point that I was talking about, and I think the outcome was was much better than I could have done it. Uh, with the final outcome, I would say it still relates. It doesn't go with the diverging off coping mechanisms. It was pretty. I would say it's pretty well done. Like I said, if I was to improve, I could have easily got more footage. And I would say, okay, the most efficient I would say was the research. The research and the planning, I would say, was the most efficient because I could at least know, oh, point out this. Oh, yeah, I should do this. And I just felt like it was very helpful. And I think I've learned how not to do it, so not to leave this to the last moment, and to take my time and actually get on with it. Plus, I've also learned I've learned a lot with text, like how to make it so each character displays individually, And yeah, areas for improvement. I feel like my production could have been a lot better. Probably my evaluation as well, because it's quite rushed this. So for my research and planning, it would be, I would say it was nicely presented, but it could have used a more detail. Plus, it definitely goes personal, because this is a subject that I have a lot of experience with, and I keep it light-hearted, because a lot of it's quite dark, as in people who take drugs and beat I try to make that as light as possible for the people who are watching it, because those things are real, and I try to make this as light as possible. But otherwise, yeah, this is my evaluation, and I hope you enjoyed.